Evans gave birth to little Caitlin to help her own daughter. Suzanne wanted children, but she couldn't give birth herself because she doesn't have a womb. So her mother volunteered to help. Using eggs from her daughter and sperm from her husband Chris, an embryo was created. Caitlin was born by caesarean section, and Britain's first surrogate grandmother insists it was worth it.
When you see that lovely little bundle of joy there and happiness in their faces, what else can I say?
The two women say the experience has brought them closer together. Suzanne was there for the birth.
And I said to Mum, it's a baby girl, you know, and like the rapture wiped her, and like the nurse passed it to me straight away.
The baby was born on Thursday. Darlington Hospital says mother and child are doing well. Jackie Rowley, BBC News.
And now, with news of disappointment for Tim Henman and the rest of the sport, here's Rob Bonnet.
Boris Becker was simply too powerful for Britain's Tim Henman in their compact Grand Slam Cup semi-final in Munich this afternoon. Becker won in straight sets, 7-6, 6-3, 6-1. But the British #1 will be consoled by a week's good work worth over £250,000.
Now firmly established among the world's top 30 players, Tim Henman is reaping the financial rewards of his rapid climb up the tennis rankings. And though he started today's semi-final as a clear second favourite to an in-form Boris Becker, Henman, oozing confidence, more than held his own in the first set, which eventually went to a tiebreak.
Oh, that's a fine point, best he's played.
But a decisive stroke of misfortune on Becker's return of serve turned the tiebreak in the German's favour, and he went on to take a one-set lead. With a partisan home crowd behind him, Becker now took charge of the match. He claimed the second set 6-3, and with Henman's self-belief wavering for the first time in the tournament, Becker hurried through the third set. Now serving close to his imperious best, he raced to a 5-1 lead before, rather anticlimactically, Henman's defeat was confirmed by a double fault. It was an inappropriate end to a wonderful year, but in defeat, Henman pinpointed why Becker had had the edge.
It's his consistency. He's, you know, he's probably able to continue playing like that for 4 or 5 sets, and I think at the moment I probably couldn't do that. So there's little areas that I'm sure I'll look at and go away and be able to work on.
Boris Becker's opponent in the final will be Goran Ivanisevic, who came back from 2 sets down to win an extraordinary semi-final against Yevgeny Kafelnikov. Duncan Jones, BBC News.
Football, and Arsenal have maintained their unbeaten home record and extended their lead at the top of the FA Carling Premiership, but thanks only to a late equaliser from French under-21 international Patrick Vieira, whose first goal for his club secured a 2-2 draw with Derby County. Nigerian international Efan Akoku scored twice in Wimbledon's 18th match without defeat, this time a 3-1 win at Sunderland. A Guy Whittingham goal gave Sheffield Wednesday a surprise victory at Liverpool, and a first-half effort from Andy Townsend gave Aston Villa their win at Southampton. So Arsenal now lead by 4 points, with Wimbledon going second above Liverpool on goal difference. Villa move fourth above Newcastle and Manchester United, neither of whom played today. At the bottom, Middlesbrough drew with Leeds, and Blackburn go above Southampton after their draw at Leicester, but Coventry were beaten by Spurs. Forest play Newcastle on Monday. 3 non-league teams from the GM Vauxhall Conference are definitely through to the third round of the FA Cup after knocking out league opposition this afternoon. Amongst them, Hensford Town, who won 1-0 at Blackpool thanks to Joe O'Connor's scrambled goal 3 minutes from time. They'll be joined in Monday's third round draw by habitual giant killers Woking. Clive Walker scored in their 2-0 win at Cambridge, but Leyton Orient's keeper Peter Shilton was beaten twice as non-league Stevenage went through at his side's expense. In Scotland, 2 goals from Ali McCoist helped Rangers come from behind to defeat Hibernian 4-3 at Ibrox. Celtic, meanwhile, were beaten 2-1 by Motherwell, for whom Billy Davis scored the opening goal. Rangers now lead the Bells Premier Division by 8 points. Aberdeen won 3-2 at Dunfermline, but Hearts only drew 0-0 at home to Wraith. David Campese celebrated his last game for Australia by scoring a try in his side's 39-12 defeat of the Barbarians at Twickenham, a result that completes the Wallabies' 100% tour record. But after a tackle on Campese, the England fullback Tim Stimpson had to leave the field with concussion. He'll miss next week's international against Argentina.
A last appearance for David Campese in Australian colours, fittingly on the ground where his team won the World Cup 5 years ago. But early on, it was one of Australia's exciting younger players who set the game alight. Matt Burke's surging run took him clear, and despite Nigel Walker's desperate tackle, Burke's momentum carried him over. Meanwhile, Campese was clearly enjoying the occasion, even having a laugh at the referee's expense. His next run inadvertently led to the game's low point. Campese was stopped by Tim Stimpson's tackle, but it left England's talented new fullback concussed and brought his game to a premature end. A try was what Campese required to complete his day, and that duly arrived early in the second half as he twisted through tackles with typical style. At the other end, the Barbarians at last broke free from Australia's solid defence, Alan Bateman staggering over for a deserved, if ungainly, try. The Barbars added another score, but that didn't spoil a successful farewell for David Campese. Having delighted crowds the world over, it was only right that his Australian career ended with a lap of honour. James Helm, BBC News.
Bath won today's big match in England's Courage League One. They were 17-3 down to Harlequins at half-time, but then turned the game right round with England winger Adedeo Adebayo scoring the third of their 4 second-half tries. They finally won by 35 points to 20, Jeremy Guscott reminding the England selectors of his ability with his second try of the match. The day's most valuable race, Tingle Creek Trophy at Sandown, was won for the second successive year by the odds-on favourite Sound Man, ridden by Richard Dunwoody. Approaching the final fence, Dunwoody trailed Adrian Maguire on Viking Flagship. Commentary from Lee Mackenzie.
One more to go. Sound Man landed just in front from Viking Flagship, who's doing his best into the final 200 yards. And Sound Man's got the lead as they start uphill and quickening away now. He's gone 2.5, 3 lengths clear. Viking Flagship, who's run a pretty good race for this time of the year. But Sound Man has won it well.
Meanwhile, at Chepstow, Tony McCoy rode 4 winners, including Belmont King in the rehearsal chase. Peter.
Jack Charlton and his wife have become honorary Irish citizens tonight as the country paid tribute to his achievements as the manager of the national football team. The couple were guests of honour at a special ceremony hosted by the Irish President Mary Robinson. Our Dublin correspondent Leo Enright reports.
Ireland's first citizen presents Ireland's newest citizen with the warrant that makes it official. Only 7 people have been honoured in this way since the foundation of the state. Jack Charlton joins those who gave so much to Ireland, it wanted to give something back.
He did make a very particular commitment to Ireland to ensure the kind of success which has benefited Ireland, the people of Ireland and young people.
Jack Charlton's career has spanned more than 30 years. He was on the England team that won the World Cup, yet astonishingly, his greatest memories are of the years he tried to win the World Cup for Ireland.
Well, the happiest days of your life, I mean, when you're a manager in England, you know you're going to be there for 4 or 5 years, and everything changes from year to year. With the Irish, it was like we progressed and had good days, and we didn't have many bad days, and the enjoyment and the crack and the music.
It's just put Ireland on the map, football-wise. He's been an ambassador to Ireland, so I think it's a great idea, yeah.
I think we should call him Paddy Charlton now, instead of Jack, as he's an Irishman.
I don't know. I feel Irish. I really do feel Irish.
This move by the Irish government is no empty gesture. Jack Charlton now has the same rights and responsibilities as any Irish citizen. But as one Dublin wit wondered tonight, will they not think of giving Irish citizenship to 1 or 2 of the players? Leo Enright, BBC News, Dublin.
And that's all from the BBC Newsroom tonight. From Rob and me, good night.
If you walk into one of 10 different high street stores tomorrow and try to buy a television or a fridge, it's likely you'll be charged exactly the same price, time after time after time. On Monday night, Panorama asks, whatever happened to good old competition? Is the consumer losing out, time after time after time? The Price is Wrong, Monday, 9:30, BBC One.
Good evening to you. Well, in the kind of foggy situation we have just now, it's probably best to go for the coast. Here's some of the mildest and the brightest weather to be found at Colwyn Bay, over 5 hours of sunshine today. But the frost returning tonight in these central areas, down to -2 in some spots, so do watch out for some slippery patches out on the pavements and the roads. Around the coast, again, several degrees above freezing, and really quite a balmy night across Northern Ireland and Scotland, but a windy night and a wet one too. Some heavy bursts of rain moving up through Northern Ireland onto the western side of Scotland in particular as we go through the next few hours. That weather system, though, brushing away during the night and through tomorrow as well, so you're between bands of rain there. Still quite a brisk southwesterly wind blowing. That's going to make it a pretty mild day. Down in the south, though, the mist and fog becoming pretty extensive again tonight, even some drizzle in the more southern counties of England. So again, starting off pretty grey and murky tomorrow. It'll take a long time for that fog to thin out, and just like today, it'll hang around in parts of the Midlands out towards Lincolnshire. Further north, some dribs and drabs of rain still ring onto the Highlands, but many places having a fine day, I would think. Some sunshine breaking through on the eastern side of Scotland and around the coastal areas further south as well. A bit of brightness from time to time. Here the highest temperatures, but where the fog lingers, probably no higher than about 2 degrees. On Monday, still misty and chilly in the south, milder and brighter across the far north.